You've probably heard stories about haunted houses, but this house isn't just haunted. It's one of the most infamous paranormal cases in American history. A story that begins with a brutal mass murder and ends in terror that drove a family out of their dream home after just 28 days. This is the Amityville Horror. And whether you believe in ghosts or not, something happened inside 112 Ocean Avenue that no one can explain. It's November 13th, 1974. Ronald DeFeo Jr., a 23-year-old man, walks calmly into a bar around 6:30 p.m. and shouts, "You gotta help me. I think my mother and father are shot." A few patrons follow him back to his house, and what they find inside would scar them forever. Lying in their beds, not one, not two, but 6 family members, all executed. His parents, Ronald Sr. and Louise, and his 4 siblings, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew. The police arrive, and what they find makes no sense. No one in the neighborhood heard any gunshots, despite the fact that the rifle had no suppressor. No one had gotten up or tried to flee. Ronald Jr. is taken in for questioning. At first, he blames a mob hitman, but the next day, under intense questioning, he breaks. He confesses. He murdered his entire family. The reason? He said he heard voices, telling him they were plotting against him, that he had to stop them before they killed him first. Just like that, 112 Ocean Avenue became a crime scene, but it was far from over. 13 months later, George and Kathy Lutz are looking for a fresh start. They find a beautiful Dutch colonial house for a price that seems too good to be true. 5 bedrooms, swimming pool, boathouse. Everything a young couple could dream of. But there's a catch. Their realtor tells them, straight up, this is the house where the DeFeo murders happened. You'd think they'd run for the hills, but George and Kathy talk it over. They're not superstitious. They decide to go for it. $80,000 for a house like that? They move in on December 18th, 1975, with their 3 kids and their dog, Harry. Before they even unpack the boxes, things start to go sideways. They invite a priest, Father Mancuso, to bless the house. And during the blessing, he says he felt a cold presence. And then, a voice, deep and angry, telling him, "Get out." He doesn't finish the blessing. He warns the Lutzes, but doesn't go into detail. And that's when the horror really begins. From the very first night, the house is off, freezing cold in the middle of winter, even with the heater running. Strange smells, windows that slam shut on their own, doors that open without explanation. The dog refuses to go near the boathouse. One night, they find him nearly choked by his own leash, as if something tried to hang him. George begins to change. He becomes irritable, obsessive. He stops shaving, stops eating. He starts waking up at exactly 3:15 a.m. every night, the time the DeFeo murders supposedly took place. Kathy has terrifying nightmares of the murders. She dreams of the very rooms where each child was killed and wakes up with welts and scratches on her body that she can't explain. One night, she claims she levitated off the bed. The kids? They start acting strange. Their personalities change. Their behavior becomes erratic. Their daughter, Missy, starts talking to an imaginary friend she calls Jody, a demonic pig-like creature with glowing eyes. Missy says Jody tells her things, tells her who's safe and who isn't. George becomes consumed with the house. He spends hours in the basement. He finds a small hidden room behind a wall, painted entirely in red. The family dog refuses to go near it. George starts to believe there's something in the house, something feeding off them. Kathy begins to research the home's history, and what she finds is horrifying. The house was supposedly built on a Native American burial ground. Local legend says it was once a place where the sick and insane were left to die. And before the DeFeos ever lived there were whispers of satanic rituals, even cult activity tied to the land. The priest who tried to bless the house falls ill with a mysterious fever. Blisters appear on his hands. He hears voices, even from hundreds of miles away. The church advises him to stop contact with the family entirely, but the activity doesn't stop. The Lutz family is attacked, psychologically, emotionally, and even physically. Cabinets explode open, walls ooze green slime, crosses twist upside down. The furniture rearranges itself. And George, He starts to feel exactly what Ronald DeFeo claimed before he murdered his family, that someone is watching, that something is whispering to him, telling him things, dark things. By the third week, the house feels like it's alive, and it hates them. George is barely recognizable. He's pale, unshaven, hollow-eyed. He says he hears a marching band in the middle of the night, but there's nothing there. He swears something is breathing in the room with them, even when he's alone. Kathy wakes up with deep scratches down her back. She starts locking the bedroom door at night. The kids are screaming in their sleep. Furniture levitates. The front door rips off its hinges in the middle of the night. And on the walls, cloven hoof prints. One night, the youngest son, Daniel, is found trembling in a corner, his eyes wide. He says he saw a shadow in the hallway. Tall, black, with no face, just watching him. The most terrifying moment comes when Missy says Jody told her that someone was going to die soon, that Jody could make her fly out the window if she wanted to. George and Kathy know they're in over their heads. They reach out to a team of paranormal investigators, but no one wants to come inside. One psychic walks up to the front porch and refuses to go any farther. She says the energy is the closest to pure evil she's ever felt. The Lutzes try to pray. They try to fight it, but whatever is inside that house isn't leaving, and it's feeding off their fear. On January 14th, 1976, just 28 days after moving in, the Lutz family snaps. They don't pack, they don't plan, they run. They flee the house in the middle of the night. The last night, they claim, was the worst of all. To this day, they've never described exactly what happened, only that it was too terrifying to relive. They leave everything behind: clothes, furniture, food in the fridge. They never go back. The house is silent once more, but the story is just beginning. The Lutz family relocates. They contact a lawyer and begin telling their story. And just like that, the media descends. News spreads like wildfire. A haunted house, demonic voices, a family driven out. Reporters swarm 112 Ocean Avenue. Psychics, demonologists, skeptics, everyone wants a piece. Enter Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famed paranormal investigators. They visit the house in March of 1976. Lorraine says she felt overwhelmed by the presence of something dark. She said it was inhuman. She claimed it wanted to possess someone, or something. A photo is taken during one of their investigations, the image of a boy peering from a doorway with glowing eyes. There were no children in the house that day. The photo becomes famous and controversial. Skeptics call it a hoax. They claim it's an accidental double exposure. Others, they swear it's proof of something watching. Not everyone believes the Lutzes. Some call it a money grab. In fact, the Lutzes meet with a writer, Jay Anson, and in 1977, he publishes a book, The Amityville Horror. It becomes a bestseller. Then, a year later, the first movie is released. Hollywood picks it up, and soon, Amityville becomes a franchise. Sequels, reboots, spin-offs. The name becomes a brand. But the deeper you dig, the more complex it gets. Ronald DeFeo, the murderer, starts changing his story. He says he didn't act alone. He says his sister Dawn helped, or even that she killed some of the family. He claims he was manipulated, possessed, drugged. No two versions of his story ever match. And then, lawsuits begin. Friends of the Lutzes say they helped create the haunting for publicity. One lawyer even claims the entire thing was cooked up over a few bottles of wine. Paranormal researchers investigate the Amityville house for years. Some say there's nothing there, that it's just an old house with a dark history. Others say it's cursed, that once violence soaked into the wood, something opened and never closed. The Amityville house still stands today. It's been remodeled. Its address has been changed to keep tourists away. New owners have moved in, and none have reported supernatural activity. So what changed? Was the horror real, or was it created? Was the Lutz family attacked by something otherworldly, or were they victims of trauma, manipulation, or mass hysteria? To this day, no one knows for sure. The truth sits somewhere in the middle, behind locked doors, between what was felt and what was seen.